Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Welcome back to Baloch Cha episode God knows what. I have Jamilah Baloch here today. We will be speaking in English just for today's episode. So anybody akasi ke Baluchi gap kante, inshallah, I will see you in my next video. Ashmara gende. Jamilah Baloch, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Jamilah Baloch is actually a content creator that I met online, also an interior designer, which is so cool. She's a lovely, lovely, lovely Baloch lady that I met online, and we bonded over being Baloch.
Yeah, and this is the second time meeting, actually.
I know!
In person.
I'm so excited. And yeah, second time meeting, because the first time we met was through CBCSC, the Canadian Baloch group that we have, and we had an annual event, the Arbaharaga event, which she came at. And did you like it? How did you like it? You loved it?
I loved it.
Did you make friends?
Yes, I did make friends. I met
good.
you. That
Yeah.
was the biggest
Well,
highlight.
yeah, that was the first-
that was
well,
the
we were
biggest
friends,
highlight,
yeah.
really, yeah.
Yeah, we were friends from before.
Yes.
But we just met. I think like 2020 we became friends online.
Like around the pandemic.
Yeah, around the pandemic time, we became friends. We tried to meet.
We did.
And then we never ended up meeting.
Yeah.
I also live pretty far from downtown.
Yep. And babies happened.
Babies happened, and then finally Allah was like, "Okay, we're gonna meet now."
Yeah, it
which
was a
is
force
great.
of nature for
yeah,
sure.
and I'm so glad you came, and I'm so glad that we met each other.
too.
It honestly like made my night. That
too.
night when I saw her, I was like, "Oh my god, I've been trying to meet you for so long."
I actually screamed when I saw you.
I think we both like ended up screaming it
like,
in our faces. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. But yeah. Today's episode is going to be based off of Jamilah and her kind of Baloch identity and why you've become all of a sudden so curious now to really get to know it. I know you were asking me this before off camera, like where is that passion?
Yes.
Where did it come from?
Good question. Yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, specifically during the pandemic time, there's a picture, actually, I'm going to share it with you so you can post it maybe.
Oh, cool.
Because there was a time where everything was shut down. And then, we couldn't do our eyebrows, we couldn't do nothing, nor services were
Haircuts,
available, nothing. Yeah. So remember my eyebrows grew like to the fullest in a natural way that I haven't seen in like so long. And then I put these kind of Indian or like, that side of the world earrings. And I put it on and I looked in the mirror and I was like, wait, what else is missing? And I was just like, I reached out to my father and I was like, what do we know? Why do we know? Like I asked him, like, is this something that, are we actually Black? Are we actually Black Baluch or actually African Baluch? Where do we come from?
Yeah.
So really, it was that picture specifically that intrigued me because I was like, okay, what is there? Something is missing. And also at that time, I have kids with a Jamaican partner, ex-partner right now. So it was important for me to connect the dots for them, to kind of make them understand. I realized that it's so important for me to get them to understand that because I didn't even have that knowledge. So I'm like, okay, it's my job to pass the knowledge to my kids, but I also wanted to know a lot of things. And then I came across, I don't know, honestly, it's like a divine timing that I came across your page. And I was like, oh my God, in Canada?
I know, it's nice that it's close by too. So you're like,
Yes.
oh, that's nice. I love that story. And I do want to see that photo now.
Yes, I will show it to you.
Yeah, I know,
I will show
right?
it to you.
It's the Baloch people known for the eyes and the eyebrows.
Yes.
I really want to dive into the roots from when you were your family was in Balochistan. Of course, whatever you can remember. But from Balochistan, from those mountainous regions, they left. And I remember you talking a little bit in Africa, and then you went off to Oman, and then in Canada. So can you take me on a little journey on how that went?
I wasn't personally in that journey, but but I got to ask from asking my dad, he actually did his own little research. And he did a family tree.
Interesting.
And in that family tree, he basically went as far as, I think, 5 generations down. And the generation started, I think it was the first Baluch people in Uganda. So we started in Uganda, actually, not Tanzania.
Interesting.
So we started in Uganda, and it was, I think, in the 1800s. Don't know the dates specifically, but my great-great-grand, that first generation that
first
went to Tanzania, they went down to help build the railroad that was being built in Uganda that's going across Africa, East Africa. So they went down there, and then I'm not sure how many generations stayed in Uganda, but my father's father moved to Tanzania, and my dad was born in Tanzania. And then from Tanzania, my dad moved to Oman, and I was born in Oman. Given the natural way of Baluchis, you know, we're nomads. We cannot stay in one place. Like, we are moving around and whatnot. So that was my father. And then my mom, I actually don't have no idea. All I know is she was born and raised in Tanzania, and then she moved to Oman. I know there's a relationship between Tanzania and Oman, but we have no idea where her Baluchi traces go back to. I don't know anywhere. Nobody visits Balochistan. No one speaks the language except for my grandma, like I told you. But other than that, really, it's like question mark. It's for me to go and find out next. Yeah.
It's like a little puzzle.
Yes.
That's cool. So you're in Oman when you were born and raised there, right?
Yes.
So how old were you when you came to Canada?
17.
17.
Yes.
So you like lived your whole childhood, teens there.
Yes.
So what was that like?
Growing up in Oman. See, I didn't answer you this off camera because I'm like, let me shock you so you can get a real reaction.
Oh, look at that. I love it.
When it comes to identity crisis,
Yeah.
it was a true identity crisis. In Oman, it's usually people who are Africans or Swahili and or Baluchis. There's no like mixed. I'm a very, very rare breed. Very, very rare. And also it's like there's this weird rivalry between Baluchis and Africans. They don't like each other.
Interesting.
Probably unspoken subject or like, you know, but it really is, they do not mix, at least back in the days, my times. They didn't really mix up. Nowadays, people are very open-minded. They don't mind.
Yeah.
But there was that division that they did not like each other. They did not mix with one another. So me being in the middle, like I speak the language, Swahili language. I look more African than Baluch, but then my last name says Baluch. So it's like, it was so, so weird. I remember there's a time I went to a public school because I went to a private school for the like majority of the time that I grew up in Oman, and there was a time that my parents were like, we're gonna put you in public school. I was like, okay. And the population there, that's when I saw everything. It was like also like elementary school? Middle school. So it's middle school. So we're all grown, you know, personalities, whatnot, preference. That's how the school was. And it was a big population of both Baluchis and Swahili people. So it's like, let's say when recess, you find a group here.
Yeah.
That's the Baluchis. That's the Africans.
Oh, interesting.
So me walking in there, I'm like, find my people. But they're like, girl, no, you're African. And I was like, okay, I'll go over there. So I go over there and I was like, no, people will be whispering, like, her name, she's Baluchi, her last name, look at her last name. We don't want to hang out with her. It was the weirdest thing ever. And I was like, it was so sad, but thankfully it was only a couple of months.
Did you leave the school?
Yep. Our parents moved us back, which was a good thing. But it was a real shock. It was not even a shock, yes, but it also a realization of how, when you say identity crisis, it was just like hardcore reality. It was so like difficult to kind of understand what's what.
That's so interesting that you say that, because there's a lot of friends even that I have here. Like, I think it's just common amongst Baluch people to marry indigenous or people of different descents and different like ethnicities. We have, you know, Filipino Baloch here as well, and we have.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Okay,
I've grown up with them, which is really nice.
Yeah,
but Baluch people really are comfortable getting along with cultures, getting to know people, and I think it makes us kind of being nomadic, right? Being able to connect to people. Yeah. So, who did you pick? Did you pick more like of the Swahili background or the
I didn't pick none. I did
Really?
not pick any. Like, it's like, I just was like, I am me. Like, both of these things makes who I am.
Right.
So it's like, you have a problem and you have a problem.
You have a
with it.
problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's your
Yeah.
problem, not my problem.
So you never ended up with a friend group. You just at that
No.
right before you were kind of maybe not even melting in at all. You
Funny enough, I only had 3 friends.
Aw.
3 friends growing
Yeah.
up, but honestly, not even that. You see how I am, like
Yeah.
athletic and whatnot? That was me as a teenager.
Yeah.
I used to be a runner. I used to go horse riding. I used to
Right.
love snorkeling.
Right.
I loved the nature and I loved being outside and outdoors.
Yeah.
So it's like really after school, that's where I would be.
Yeah.
My friends would be like birthdays, maybe weekends, but usually,
you're like, got it.
Yeah.
I want to get active.
Yeah.
I want to do something fun.
I don't know, it was
love
more
that.
fun to me than, I don't know, people.
Yeah. And it's really common if you
Than
guys check out.
people.
Yeah, her Instagram, like she's always out active, doing things, getting out there, getting to know like anybody that's getting productive and moving. And
Yeah.
I love that. I think that's amazing. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So you were in Oman, then you left. How was that like integrating into a whole different culture?
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
I did not like it. When I first came to Canada, I went to Barrie, Georgia College. Have you heard of it?
Barry?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's not even like downtown. Like
No, it was
like
through an
white
agent, white. Like Canada wasn't a cheaper option for
Yeah.
lack of better words.
Yeah.
Because England with the currency
Yeah.
is
expensive.
expensive.
Yeah.
Back in the days, the US was expensive. Like, and then Australia, it was similar to Canada,
Yeah.
but there were so many Omanis in Australia. And I'm like, I don't want to leave Oman to go to another Oman. Like, legit. I was like, no.
Yeah.
So Canada was the last option. So we had hired like a international student agent. So the agents really back home. Agencies where you can go, they will
Yeah.
give you what schools are there, they will help you with the application, all these things. So I didn't even know, I didn't bother to check, hey, where is it geographically? I was just like, oh, Canada University College, sure, let's go.
You're just
But
kinda like,
but I got picked up from the airport, 40-minute drive from the airport. It was like minus 40.
oh, you came in
Snow.
you guys, she came in the winter.
Snow was up to like my forehead. It was like torture. I cried.
Oh my god.
Like coming from 50 Celsius to minus 40. It's like, what is this? Anyway,
can't
it was a horrible experience. I hated it. Anyway, I stayed in Barrie for the winter.
Yeah.
And I visited some family friends that were in Toronto. Literally, I came back to Barrie to pack my stuff and I left. I don't know if I can swear in this.
You're like,
She was like, oh, how is your visit in Toronto? Good. I'm packing my things. See you later.
I love that though. I love that you got up and you're just like, no.
Of course, because I came here and I'm like, oh my God, color, people, flavors. Like,
Where are they? Spices.
spices, yes.
That's good.
Didn't see none of that in Barrie. I actually looked different. I turned heads around.
Oh no way.
Yeah, 70.
That's crazy.
How many years ago? Am I aging myself? Yes, I am. 20 years ago.
All good though.
Barrie, there was nobody in
Yeah,
Barrie.
yeah,
So yeah.
nobody. That's
Yeah.
how it was. Okay. And then you started school.
Started school.
Yeah.
And then I moved to Humber actually. From Barrie, moved to Humber College.
Yeah.
And then,
That school experience.
that's been that.
And then you just didn't think about Baluch identity. You were just like, oh, that's in the back burner. I'm just gonna focus on this.
I didn't even, like, it was just me. It was just who I am. But I never really, because there was no
Source.
There was no community. There was no way to find Baluch people.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there were Baluch
Yeah.
people here. Do you get what I mean?
know, it's
like,
tough.
yeah.
But like now you're like, okay, I'm kind
Now you
of,
guys
I'm
are
finding
here.
myself. Yeah.
I mean,
We're
when I
here.
went to the event, I was like, whoa,
Wow, yeah.
whoa.
At CBCSC, all the Baluches were all different colors, right? They didn't have a specific face. It wasn't just a Persian-looking face or,
Yeah.
a Desi-looking face or like a Swahili-looking or Omani, whatever, right?
Yeah.
It was like all of us together. And it didn't matter, if you didn't, I was going to go off the Baluchi. But if you don't know Baluchi, it doesn't matter. right?
Yeah.
The fact is that you are Baloch, and we should all be there, and we should all be together. So, going back to your university days, how did you feel about, being Baloch then?
It felt good. Like with Oman, as I said, like you have to belong to an area,
Yeah.
but here it didn't matter. It's just like I am who I am.
Yeah.
So the focus was more like, pursuing what I love.
Yeah.
And being creating the life that I want to
Yeah.
create. That was the focus. Really was on
Yeah.
that. And again, a lot of the things during the pandemic is like it kind of made us all think. It put us in a
Yeah.
space to kind of have a wider perspective of life, or pay attention to things that we did not pay attention to. So,
Yeah.
so that's how I kind of, from that, basically going to understand where I came from was important to me, because like having that moment to think, slow things down, and look at my kids, and me not having the questions. It was so important for me to make sure that I pass down the questions to my kids, because if I don't, then nobody would
and the
would do that
answers.
job.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what kind of led me back to find my people, to find where I'm from, to understand, how did I even come here? How
Yeah.
did my family end up where they were? Am I, Baluchistan, I know it's like a big part, like people from Akron,
huge,
people
yeah.
from different parts, right? So that was important to me as well. It's like, if we are to go back to Balochistan one day, where are we going to go?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so, I love that those questions are, during the pandemic, I feel like everybody was like, who am I?
What's my purpose in life?
You're just looking at a wall and it's like, what am I? But yeah, I think that's, like, even me, I was just like, and during the pandemic is when I got online. Like, that's when I was like, okay, I want to do this thing.
Okay.
I want to, like, present Baluchi clothing in more of a contemporary,
I love
artistic
that.
way. And yeah, it was really fun, and I grew with
It
that
was
online
the
community.
basketball Vogue
The Vogue one?
Vogue basketball cover. I
yeah.
love that. I was just like, who's these cool sisters?
I was literally just playing around with Photoshop all day. Like, ask my sister. Like,
Yeah.
I was on there for hours. Like, we take pictures, and then I was like, how can I do this? How can I
The
make this
coolest
cool?
thing. I was like, they're in Baluchi dress. Like, what?
Aw,
The Baluchi
thank
outfits,
you.
and they're just
That's so
shooting
sweet.
hoops.
That's so sweet.
The coolest.
Thank you, Jamilah John. But yeah, going back to that Baluchi identity, yeah, I was having that same crisis. And then, speaking of Baluchi, do you know any? Can you speak Baluchi? No.
The answer is no.
It's fine. It's fine. I know, like, it's believe it or not, I've heard of a lot of Baloch people that they don't know how to speak it. How does that, like, I don't want to put you on the spot, but like, how does it make you feel?
It gives me a huge imposter syndrome. Like,
So you feel like you're not Baloch?
Absolutely. I'm like, I can't even speak the language.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't even know what, like, are there any cultural Baluchi foods? Like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Besides the outfits that I actually started wearing.
Yeah.
The first Baluchi outfit that I put on was in 2022. Yeah. 2022. I bought it online, and it was the first time that I put it on me. That's what it felt like. I was home. Remember how he asked me
Yeah,
upstairs, do you feel
Does
like
it
you're
feel like
home?
home?
The first time I felt like I don't know, like a fresh breath of air.
That's so sweet.
That's how it felt like.
Yeah, comfort.
100%. It's like, oh my God, that imposter syndrome kind of went away. It's like,
Yeah.
shut up. Like,
yeah.
stop talking
Yeah.
because it doesn't matter. This is
Yeah,
who I
this is who
am.
you are. Yeah.
But definitely the language is important.
Yeah.
I want to learn.
Yeah.
I have been trying to watch your episode 1 to 4.
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
like, I watch for a bit, I watch, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't understand what they're saying.
Yeah, that's another reason why I did this in English. It's that
Okay.
it's okay to not know your language. It's okay. And you have to remember we're a people of a diaspora, man. We're a minority.
Yes.
It's gonna happen. And
Yeah.
but there's people like you out there. And there's people like you
Yeah.
know? So I think it's important that doesn't matter. You don't speak it, come together, you're eventually gonna pick it up.
I feel
you
like
know?
it, yeah.
But
You guys are
don't
gonna be
lose your
seeing.
identity, guys.
You'll see some more of me, so
Yes, you will.
be prepared.
You will be coming back for sure.
I'm like, it's 8. Where are you?
Yes. No, for sure. But thank you. thank you for coming on here.
No,
it
thank
means
you.
the world to me that you came out and you expressed how you feel about your Baloch identity. And I'm sure there's people out there that feel a lot like you, especially about speaking Baluchi and things like that.
Yeah.
But I hope you come back again.
I will.
And we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Also, she's from Panjagore.